Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Let me tell y'all something, right? Kick a little knowledge here this morning. For those of you who did not know, Jaron Ennis can really be heading towards becoming the full IBF champion. This interim champion crap, that he can't hold that position for more than 12 months. You understand? Let me show y'all something. All right. Says an interim champion may make defenses of the interim title during the time period that the champion is not prepared to mandatorily defend the title as determined by the terms of the exception, which is identified here in the instruction. It says all optional defenses must be completed not less than 90 days prior to the date provided in the exception granted to the champion. Okay, so obviously there was an exception granted to Crawford to fight Spence. All the sanctioning bodies are on board for the first fight, as long as they get some money in their pocket. Then with the rematch, obviously there's some exceptions that are being granted because they knew there was going to be a rematch, so there's not going to be an issue as far as Crawford defending his undisputed distinction, which the IBF is included in that, against Earl Spence. But this is the part that becomes interesting, okay? And this is what, a lot of these boxing fans, they don't go out here and read this stuff. They're like parrots. They hear somebody say something, they run with it. But the fact is this: if the champion, which is Terrence Crawford, right, is unable to defend the title against the interim champion by the end of the time permitted under the exception, then the interim champion shall become the champion, which means Boots Ennis. If Crawford doesn't fight him, which he said he does not want to fight him, let me tell y'all, Boots Ennis, one way or the other, is going to become the interim champion. The full-blown champion. Okay? Like, that's what's going to happen here, people. Because nobody beating Boots Ennis. Okay? I don't think Spence can beat him, and Crawford doesn't want to fight him. Keith Thurman makes it interesting, but it's kind of hard to go against Boots Ennis. Now check this out. Under term, in no event shall an interim champion hold a title for a period longer than 12 months. Now that you understand that, there's several things that I take away from this, right? One is we see that a lot of these sanctioning bodies, they don't always follow their rules, okay? So that just lets you know the secret society is in full effect. In addition to that, when the sanctioning bodies follow their rules, things flow pretty smoothly. It's either the fights we want to see get made between the champion and interim champion or champion and mandatory happens, or it doesn't happen and guys who are in key positions, like the interim becomes full-blown or the mandatory will go into a title eliminator, okay? So with Boots Ennis, I don't see nothing but good things happening for this guy. I think he's going to, let me see if I pull that back up for y'all. I was talking about this last night. Let me see something. All right. So when I look here underneath this, I'm just going to go ahead and stretch this out here for you, all right? When I look here underneath the IBF, the red column, the red heading, right? The column underneath the red heading. Crawford's been here for a minute now. Boots Ennis, he's coming up, I think, next year. Yeah, he'll be at that 12-month mark as the interim champion. That means he's going to bubble up here because Crawford's not fighting him. Like that time period for Crawford to, with the exception and everything's about to expire. So Crawford's going to be out of here. And I think he knows that and he's okay with that. And Boots Ennis becomes, the full IBF World Welterweight champion. And we just got to wait and see. My understanding is Boots is fighting, someone just told me, I got to do my research, and Boots is fighting on the Andre Benavidez undercard. I'm a little surprised at that because they got Jamal Charlo fighting on that undercard too, but at the end of the day, PBC and Showtime. Well, Showtime's going out of business. PBC's looking for a new home, and it seems like they're trying to put together very solid fight cards as we get ready to conclude 2023. But what I'll say is this: whoever Boots Ennis is getting ready to fight, I would still think he's got to pick somebody from the IBF for his next match, and for him to be looking to fight Mario Barrios. I mean, maybe there's going to be some kind of exception granted, but I just don't know, because when I scroll all the way down here for the IBF, I don't see Mario Barrios' name. That's because Mario Barrios is now a champion, an interim champion over here. So what you're going to see happening is Mario Barrios just picked up that interim championship. So, you know, the WBC has their own rules, but he's going to be hanging around there as an interim champion for quite some time. But bottom line, people, Boots Ennis, he doesn't just want to be handed the belt. You know, Tszyu was just handed a WBO strap. He didn't want that. Boots Ennis wants to go out there and fight and win his title, but it looks like it's coming to him, and it won't be as a result of beating Crawford to get it. Looks like he's going to be, you know, elevated to the IBF World Welterweight Champion instead of the interim. Now, a little bit of a plot twist, which I'll talk about this in another video, but I'll just leave this with you before I end this video, right? Word is the WBO just gave the green light for Terrence Crawford, if he wants, to fight Tszyu next. So that means Terrence Crawford and Tszyu could be happening, but it sounds like the ball's in Terrence Crawford's court. I got to do some more research on that, but just someone told me there was some information released out there in Australia in the media about it. So if that's the case, I'm sure it'll be floating around here on the internet. So I'll go and look into that. But that would explain why Secret Society forced Jamel Charlo to give up that WBO strap so that Tszyu can become the WBO champion, and that created opportunity for Crawford now to bubble up, fight Tszyu, more than likely win that fight, and now you got an even bigger fight with Terrence Crawford and Jamel Charlo. You see how the Secret Society works? Huh? Isn't that interesting? Now Hood Champion is out here talking crap, right? But now y'all should know where there's smoke, there's fire. And sometimes fire's not bad. We need fire in a barbecue, right? But sometimes fire's not good. That fire break out in your house, you be in bad shape if you're sleeping, right? So that's why we can't sleep on these people. Secret Society's working hard to make things happen. Sometimes we agree with it, sometimes we don't. But it is what it is. Y'all keep cool, man. Watch, Jaron Boots Ennis. This man's about to become the damn IBF world champion. All because Crawford. And that's his right. Crawford wants to go and do something different. All right? So Boots Ennis, his opportunity is coming. And I don't think they reset it. Like, I don't think it's going to reset because Crawford just picked up the IBF belt off of Spence. I don't think that's how that works. Like, if that's the case, the person who's the interim champion will be in a holding pattern for years if the person with the IBF belt loses, keeps losing. That's not right. So let's see how it all plays out. But I think something good is going to come out of it for Boots. And then hopefully things will start bubbling in the welterweight division, because I definitely think Crawford is out of there. And all the belts are just going to be dropped. And you'll see, well, we come back and look here. I pulled up the wrong thing, sorry. Well, you come and look here, right? Make this a little bit smaller for y'all. Because this is ultimately what's going to happen. You got Terrence Crawford, right? Let's say he bubbles up to the WBO. He'll still hold the belt here. But if he wins, then Rocha now bubbles up and becomes a WBO champion. They may have some kind of fight, some kind of eliminator for it. So whoever fights for the vacant. But Rocha more than likely will probably end up taking that. The IBF, Boots Ennis will take that. Mario Barrios, he may have to fight somebody for that vacant spot, or he gets elevated. Mantis Daniels and Keith Thurman are going to fight. I think Keith Thurman wins, but then Keith Thurman, if Crawford leaves the division, Keith Thurman can get elevated or have to fight somebody for that vacant title. So, bottom line is, you could see a different face by the summer of next year, holding the WBO strap, the IBF strap, WBC and WBA, and then the 147-pound division will be back bubbling. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.